The story opens with Ambassador Kira from the peaceful Velen Coalition arriving at Earth's orbital station. Her blue-scaled hands tremble as she presents humanity's first official contact with alien civilization. The Velens are a gentle species of herbivorous humanoids who have lived in harmony for centuries across 12 star systems. Commander Jake Morris of the Terran Defense Force receives the transmission. Kira explains that their entire civilization faces extinction from the Ravager, a brutal nomadic empire that consumes entire worlds. The Ravagers have already destroyed 6 Velen colonies, enslaving millions and strip-mining planets bare. The Velens discovered humanity through deep space monitoring and learned of Earth's violent history. They believe humans might possess the military knowledge needed to stop the Ravagers. However, Kira admits they initially hesitated to contact Earth because human warfare seemed so savage compared to their peaceful ways. Jake brings the request to the Global Defense Council. Admiral Ross reviews the data showing Ravager technology, massive dreadnoughts, plasma weapons, and cybernetic warriors. The alien invaders number in the billions and have conquered 47 civilizations. Dr. Elena Vasquez, Earth's xenobiology expert, studies Velen physiology. She discovers that most intelligent species in the galaxy evolved on gentle worlds with light gravity and no major predators. Humans are unique, evolved on a high-gravity death world filled with dangerous creatures, extreme weather, and constant survival challenges. The Council debates for hours. Some members worry about getting involved in an interstellar war. Others argue that helping the Velens is the right thing to do. General Marcus Cole points out that if the Ravagers succeed, Earth might be next on their target list. Kira shows them recordings of Ravager attacks. Cities burning, families separated, children crying as their parents are dragged away. The footage moves even the most hardened military officers to anger. President Anna Kim makes the final decision. Humanity will help, but not in the way the Velens expect. Instead of just sharing military tactics, Earth will mobilize its entire war machine. The human species has spent centuries perfecting the art of warfare. Now they'll put those skills to use protecting innocent lives. Jake begins coordinating with military leaders worldwide. The Chinese, Russian, American, and European fleets start preparing for humanity's first interstellar war. Engineers work around the clock, retrofitting ships with faster-than-light drives provided by Velen technology. As Kira witnesses the massive mobilization, she realizes she may have awakened something far more powerful than she anticipated. Human soldiers train with weapons that would be considered war crimes by galactic standards. Their tactics focus on maximum destruction and psychological warfare. The part ends with Jake asking Kira a simple question: how many Ravagers are there? When she answers, several billion across hundreds of ships. Jake smiles grimly and replies, "Good. That means we won't run out of targets." 3 weeks later, the first human war fleet assembles at Luna Base. Admiral Ross commands the flagship, UES Retribution, accompanied by 47 destroyers, 12 carriers, and 6 massive battleships. But the real surprise lies in what humanity considers standard military equipment. Colonel Sam Rodriguez demonstrates human weapons to a group of Velen observers. He starts with a simple assault rifle. The kinetic projectiles punch through Velen body armor like paper. When he shows them a rocket launcher, several aliens faint from the explosive demonstration. Dr. Liu Wei, head of weapons development, explains humanity's approach to warfare. While other species use energy weapons that stun or disable, humans perfected projectile weapons designed to cause maximum physical damage. Their explosives don't just destroy targets, they obliterate them completely. The Velens become increasingly disturbed as they tour human ships. Captain Maria Santos shows them the Marine barracks, where soldiers practice hand-to-hand combat. The aliens watch in horror as humans deliberately inflict pain during training. Something unthinkable in their culture. Engineer Tom Blake reveals humanity's ship designs. Human vessels are built like armored fortresses, with redundant systems and compartmentalized sections. When Velen ships take damage, they're usually destroyed. When human ships take damage, they keep fighting. Meanwhile, the Ravager horde approaches the Velen homeworld of Sanctuary. War Chief Gron leads a fleet of 300 ships, confident of easy victory. The Ravagers are cybernetically enhanced warriors who view combat as entertainment. They've never encountered serious resistance. Gron studies reports of the humans that Velen spies mentioned. The data seems impossible. Bipedal predators from a high-gravity world with poisonous atmosphere and extreme temperature variations. Gron dismisses them as another weak prey species. Back on Earth, General Cole briefs the mission parameters. The human fleet will travel to Sanctuary and engage the Ravagers directly. There will be no negotiations, no warnings, no mercy. The objective is simple: complete annihilation of the enemy force. Sergeant Mike Chun leads a squad of Marines aboard the assault carrier U's Vengeance. His men are equipped with powered armor, plasma rifles, and enough explosives to level the city. They've trained for zero-gravity combat, hostile environment operations, and close-quarters battle. Dr. Vasquez makes a disturbing discovery while studying Ravager biology. The aliens have removed most of their natural organs, replacing them with mechanical parts. They feel no pain, no fear, and no mercy. In their minds, this makes them perfect warriors. What the Ravagers don't understand is that humans evolved those same traits naturally. Centuries of warfare taught humanity to function under extreme stress, ignore injuries, and push beyond normal physical limits. The difference is that humans chose to keep their emotions, including righteous anger. The human fleet receives final orders from President Kim. She reminds them that billions of innocent lives depend on their success. Earth has never started a war of conquest, but they've never lost a war of survival either. As the ships prepare to jump to faster-than-light speed, Admiral Ross addresses his crews. He explains that they're not just fighting for the Velens, they're establishing humanity's place in the galaxy. Other species will learn that attacking innocent people brings swift and terrible consequences. The part ends with the human armada engaging their FTL drives. In Velen space, sensors detect massive energy signatures approaching. War Chief Gron prepares his forces, expecting another easy conquest. He has no idea that he's about to face the most dangerous predators the galaxy has ever produced. The human fleet drops out of FTL at the edge of the Sanctuary system. Admiral Ross surveys the tactical display showing Ravager positions. 300 enemy ships surround the Velen homeworld in a standard siege formation. It's exactly what human strategists expected: predictable and vulnerable. War Chief Gron receives reports of new contacts entering the system. His sensors show 47 small vessels, much smaller than his dreadnoughts. He laughs, thinking the Velens found some pathetic allies. He orders a squadron of 20 ships to destroy the intruders as a warm-up exercise. Captain Santos commands the destroyer UES Thunder as the first human ship to engage alien hostiles. Her crew has trained for this moment their entire careers. When Ravager ships approach in a loose formation, Santos orders all weapons to fire simultaneously. The result shocks both sides. Human railguns accelerate tungsten projectiles to 15% of light speed. The kinetic impacts punch completely through Ravager armor, which was designed to deflect energy weapons. 5 alien ships explode instantly, while others suffer. Catastrophic hull breaches. Commander Jack Turner leads a squadron of fighters from the carrier U.E.'s Falcon. His pilots use tactics developed from centuries of atmospheric combat high-speed passes, unpredictable flight patterns, and coordinated Missile strikes. Ravager fighters, built for intimidation rather than maneuverability, can't match human agility. On Sanctuary's surface, Velen civilians watch the battle through telescopes. Elder Mora sees explosions in space and fears the worst. She expects the mysterious humans to be destroyed like every other species that oppose the Ravagers. Instead, she witnesses something unprecedented: Ravager ships dying. Gron realizes his initial assessment was catastrophically wrong. These humans fight with a savagery that surpasses even Ravager brutality. Their weapons are designed for one purpose: killing efficiently. He orders his full fleet to engage, confident that superior numbers will prevail. Admiral Ross anticipated this response. He commands the human fleet to execute Formation Delta, a tactical arrangement unknown to galactic warfare. Human ships form interlocking fields of fire, with each vessel covering others' blind spots. When Ravagers charge forward, they fly into a killing zone. Major Alex Kim leads a boarding party onto a damaged Ravager cruiser. His Marines move through the ship's corridors with practiced efficiency, clearing rooms and securing objectives. The cybernetic Ravager warriors they encounter are physically stronger, but lack tactical flexibility. The humans adapt their fighting style instantly. When energy barriers block their weapons, they use explosives. When Ravagers charge with melee weapons, humans fall back and use concentrated fire. Every human squad functions like a single organism, each member anticipating others' actions. Dr. Vasquez monitors the battle from the command ship. She notes that Ravager tactics rely on intimidation and overwhelming force. When those strategies fail, they have no backup plans. Humans, evolved from persistence hunters, treat setbacks as puzzles to solve. Gron watches in growing horror as his fleet takes massive casualties. Human ships that should be destroyed keep fighting. Human crews that should surrender keep shooting. These creatures seem immune to fear and motivated by something beyond survival. They appear genuinely angry. Colonel Rodriguez leads a strike team targeting the Ravager command vessel. They use boarding pods launched from missile tubes, a tactic so insane that Ravager defenses aren't designed to stop it. The humans blast through the hull and fight their way to the bridge. The tide of battle shifts decisively when human forces demonstrate their most terrifying capability: adaptation. Every time Ravagers modify their tactics, humans counter-adapt within minutes. It's as if the entire species is a single learning organism. Captain Dave Park commands the battleship UES Devastator as it engages 3 Ravager dreadnoughts simultaneously. His ship takes severe damage but continues fighting. The human crew operates with mechanical precision despite injuries and system failures that would cripple other species. On Sanctuary, the Velens witness something unprecedented in galactic history: Ravager ships retreating. The supposedly invincible horde begins falling back as human forces press their advantage with relentless aggression. The part ends with War Chief Gron sending a desperate message to the greater Ravager Empire. The humans are not prey. They are apex predators. We need reinforcements immediately. But his transmission is cut short as human forces overrun his command ship. News of the Ravager defeat spreads through galactic communication networks within hours. Ambassador Kira stands in the Velen command center, watching sensor readings that seem impossible. The human fleet destroyed over 200 Ravager ships while losing only 3 vessels. No civilization in recorded history had ever achieved such a victory. Emperor Vex of the Ravager Empire receives Gron's final transmission from his throne ship in the Andromeda sector. The cybernetic ruler has conquered 47 species over 3 centuries. He refuses to believe that a single unknown race could threaten his empire. He dispatches War Master Thane with a second fleet, 500 ships, and 2 million warriors. Meanwhile, Admiral Ross coordinates the rescue of Velen prisoners from captured Ravager vessels. Dr. Sarah Mitchell tends to alien refugees who have never seen humans before. The Velens are amazed by human medical knowledge techniques, developed from treating battlefield injuries, far exceed galactic standards. Captain Santos leads salvage teams through destroyed Ravager ships. Engineer Blake studies their technology and makes a disturbing discovery. The aliens have been using the same weapon designs for centuries, never innovating or improving. They relied purely on overwhelming numbers and intimidation. General Cole receives intelligence reports from Earth's Analysis Division. Humanities researchers have been monitoring galactic communications since first contact. They've identified over 300 civilizations, and all of them follow the same patterned peaceful herbivorous species on low-gravity worlds with minimal conflict. Kim convenes an emergency session of the Global Defense Council. The implications are staggering. Humanity might be the only military-capable species in the galaxy. Every other race evolved without significant predators or environmental challenges. They never developed warfare beyond basic concepts. Dr. Vasquez presents her xenobiology findings. Galactic species average 40% lighter than humans due to low gravity. Their reaction speeds are slower, their endurance is limited, and their pain tolerance is minimal. Most aliens consider human capabilities superhuman. On the Velen homeworld, Elder Mora addresses the Planetary Council. She describes human warriors as beings from legend, creatures who turn injury into rage, setbacks into determination, and fear into aggression. The Velens begin to understand that they've contacted something unprecedented. War Master Thane arrives at Sanctuary expecting to find Gron's fleet victorious. Instead, he discovers a human occupation force protecting Velen colonies. Admiral Ross has established defensive positions throughout the system, treating it as permanently under human protection. The second battle begins when Thane's fleet engages human forces. Colonel Rodriguez has spent weeks analyzing captured Ravager technology. He's identified weaknesses in their shields, flaws in their armor, and predictable patterns in their tactics. The humans are ready. This time, humanity unveils weapons held in reserve during the first battle. Plasma torpedoes developed from Velen technology, but modified with human engineering principles. The warheads don't just damage enemy ships, they create cascading system failures that spread throughout entire vessels. Major Kim leads expanding marine forces in boarding operations. His troops now include volunteers from Earth's Special Forces unit soldiers trained in the world's most dangerous environments. They move through Ravager ships, like apex predators hunting prey. The battle's turning point comes when human forces demonstrate strategic thinking beyond Ravager comprehension. Instead of meeting the enemy fleet head-on, Admiral Ross splits his forces and attacks from multiple vectors simultaneously. The Ravagers, accustomed to linear battles, cannot adapt quickly enough. Captain Park's battleship, UE Devastator, has been repaired and upgraded with captured alien technology. When 3 Ravager dreadnoughts focus fire on his vessel, Park executes a maneuver that would be suicidal for any other species, ramming one enemy ship while his weapons destroy the other 2. Dr. Mitchell treats wounded humans after the battle and makes a remarkable observation. Injuries that would disable or kill other species barely slow human warriors. Humans continue fighting with broken bones, blood loss, and system failures that would incapacitate aliens. Emperor Vex receives War Master Thane's final transmission. They fight like demons. They show no fear of death. They turn every setback into greater fury. We cannot defeat them with conventional tactics. The message ends as human forces overrun Thane's flagship. The part concludes with galactic civilizations across dozens of star systems receiving the same message. Humanity has emerged as the galaxy's dominant military power. Species that have lived in peace for millennia begin to understand that the universe has changed forever. On Earth, President Kim addresses the world's population. She announces that humanity is no longer alone, and they have become the galaxy's protectors whether they intended to or not. 6 months after the second Ravager defeat, the galaxy transforms in ways no species anticipated. The Galactic Protection Accord establishes humanity as the official military force for peaceful civilizations. Ambassador Kira works alongside President Kim to formalize treaties with 43 species seeking human protection. Emperor Vex faces rebellion within his own empire. Conquered species learn that the invincible Ravagers can be defeated. The Corlin Uprising begins when former slaves capture Ravager weapons and turn them against their oppressors. Similar revolts spread across 12 star systems. Admiral Ross commands humanity's expanded fleet from the new orbital station Aegis Prime in Velen space. The facility serves as headquarters for the Terran Defense Corps, a volunteer force drawing personnel from every nation on Earth. Applications exceed available positions by a ratio of 10-1. Captain Santos receives promotion to Commodore and commands the 3rd Human Fleet tasked with hunting remaining Ravager strongholds. Her forces specialize in rapid deployment and overwhelming firepower, tactics that have become humanity's signature across the galaxy. Dr. Vasquez establishes the interspecies medical exchange on Sanctuary. Human doctors teach alien physicians techniques for treating combat injuries while learning about galactic diseases and biological diversity. The collaboration advances medicine for all species involved. Asterisk. General Cole oversees the Strategic Defense Initiative, a project to establish human military bases in key systems throughout galactic civilization. Each installation includes early warning sensors, rapid response forces, and enough firepower to defeat invasion fleets. On Earth, the Global Space Command coordinates humanity's most ambitious project yet, the construction of massive shipyards in the asteroid belt. Within 2 years, human industrial capacity will exceed the combined output of all galactic civilizations. Engineer Blake leads teams reverse engineering captured alien technology. Humans prove remarkably adaptable, improving on designs that other species considered perfect. Human modifications typically increase efficiency by 30 to 40% while reducing manufacturing costs. The Battle of Zerion demonstrates humanity's growing tactical sophistication. When Ravager Emperor Vex personally leads the 3rd Imperial Fleet against human forces, Admiral Ross employs psychological warfare. He broadcasts recordings of previous Ravager defeats, undermining enemy morale before the first shot is fired. Colonel Rodriguez commands ground forces during the liberation of Altara, primal world enslaved by Ravagers for 2 decades. Human Marines work alongside freed alien populations, teaching them guerrilla warfare tactics that prove devastatingly effective against occupying forces. Emperor Vex realizes his empire faces extinction. The humans fight with a combination of advanced technology and primitive savagery that his forces cannot match. He attempts to negotiate a ceasefire, offering to withdraw from disputed territories in exchange for human non-interference. President Kim rejects Vex's proposal with a simple statement: humanity doesn't negotiate with slavers. The message spreads throughout the galaxy. Earth's position is non-negotiable. All enslaved populations will be freed. All aggressive empires will be dismantled. Dr. Mitchell coordinates humanitarian relief efforts on dozens of liberated worlds. Human medical teams, engineers, and agricultural specialists work to rebuild civilizations destroyed by centuries of Ravager occupation. The effort showcases humanity's capacity for both war and compassion. The siege of the Ravager homeworld begins when the combined human fleet now numbering over 800 vessels, arrives at Destroyer's Gate in the galactic core. The planet's massive orbital fortifications have never been breached in 3,000 years of rule. Ravager expansion. Major Kim leads the largest marine assault in human history. 10,000 soldiers in powered armor storm Ravager ground installations, while orbital bombardment eliminates defensive positions. The battle becomes a symbol of humanity's commitment to ending galactic oppression. Captain Park commands the super dreadnought UES Nemesis, a vessel larger than most space stations. When Emperor Vex's personal flagship challenges human forces to single combat, Park accepts. The duel between the two massive vessels becomes the stuff of galactic legend. The war ends not with negotiation, but with Emperor Vex's unconditional surrender. Ravager survivors are offered a choice: accept human authority and rehabilitation, or face continued resistance. Most choose surrender, recognizing that further fighting means extinction. 1 year later, Ambassador Kira stands beside President Kim at the inaugural Galactic Peace Summit on Earth. Representatives from over 60 species gather to establish new laws preventing future wars of conquest. Humanity's military might ensures compliance. The story concludes with a reflection on humanity's transformation from isolated Deathworlders to galactic guardians. Earth's children now patrol star systems humanity had never imagined, protecting civilizations beyond human comprehension. The species that once warred among themselves has become the galaxy's greatest force for peace. In the final scene, a young human officer receives assignment to a frontier system where unknown threats emerge from dark space. The cycle continues. Humanity stands ready to face whatever dangers the universe presents, armed with both advanced technology and the savage determination of apex predators defending their extended family. The end.